My brothers and sisters in India. My name is Arjun. How are you doing today? Today, we are going to look at an important problem that has been plaguing India for a long time. What is it? Now, in the recently concluded Olympics, India came in the 71st position. We were not able to win enough gold medals. Whereas USA had a lot of gold medals and China had another set of gold medals and they came first and second respectively. If you actually look at the statistics, in population wise, India is number one and China is number two and America is number three. Whereas in the Olympics, US is number one and China is number two, whereas India is number 71 in the position. Why is that? This has been a question that has been in my mind for the past 30 years, ever since I was a kid. Every time once Olympics conclude, we always have this question: why is India able to not win enough gold medals? What is the reason for it? In this video, we are not just going to look at the problem. This is a problem statement. We are going to look at why is US able to fare much better when compared to any other countries, and China is able to do a really good job of winning Olympic gold medals. So today we are going to look at the solution. We are always going to talk about the problem statement and what is the solution for this problem. This particular video, I want to dedicate it to Vinesh Phogat. Although she didn't win any medals, for me, I think she's the golden girl of India. And I also want to dedicate to all the people, all the athletes from India who represented the Olympics. Let's go into the solution. Okay, I told you earlier in this video, I think I'm going to talk only about the solution. And I'm standing right on top of the solution. What exactly is this place? This place is nothing but a public ground in the US. Alright, I'm going to show you the quality of this ground and the infrastructure that's been there. Then you will realize that why India is not able to win any gold medal. Let me give you an analogy actually before we go into the solution. Let's say I want to build a good body, right? I mean, I want to have a strong physique with excellent muscles and everything. Now I can go and work out and do everything. But the basic for building a good body is I need to have a good skeletal structure. On top of the skeletal structure, everything comes up, right? So exactly how a skeletal structure is for your body, the same way we need to have a good infrastructure in India. And unfortunately, I don't see a good infrastructure in India for a very long time. It doesn't matter who rules the country, right? Whether it is BJP or Congress, it doesn't matter. The infrastructure of the country remains the same. If you need to be the greatest country in the world, you need to have the quality, you need to have a quality infrastructure. If you need to compete against China and the United States, you need to have a good infrastructure as comparable to the US and China. Do we have it? No. And I'm going to explain you with this track and field, Seeman. So although this is a huge ground, you can see that, behind me, they are going to play American football. This is a field for the American football. And sometimes they do play soccer here, right? I mean, they can switch to American football and soccer. Now, the place where I am standing right now, this is actually for tracks, right? You can see there are 4 lanes, 1, 2, 3, 4 lanes, all of them properly marked. And if you actually go and look at the quality of the tracks here, you could see that, this is of excellent quality, right? The one thing that you always note when you come to US or any developed countries is the quality of infrastructure is amazing, that you'll always think, why is this not in my country? If you actually look at these 4 tracks, think about this for a second. Let's say a kid who is very talented in the US gets trained in these tracks. He comes and competes in the Olympics. There is a 16-year-old kid who ran or represented the US in the recently concluded Olympics. But unfortunately, we are not able to do that in India. You know why? Because we don't have an infrastructure like this. If these tracks are in India, in each and every corner of India, if you go to the remote villages of Punjab, Haryana, Assam, and if we have an infrastructure like this, then I'm pretty sure India is going to win a lot of gold medals in the Olympics. Now, let's look at the field, right? I mean, the soccer field that they have built. It's just not a soccer field. They could also play American football. Now, I want to show you the quality of this entire project. If you actually look at it, they actually have artificial turf or artificial grass almost throughout the entire field. And if you actually look at it, the field is slightly, comes down like this. I'll explain you why. But if you actually look at it, there is markings everywhere. There is a marking for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And I told you that they also use this for as a soccer field. Now, this is what we are missing in India. If we have a quality infrastructure like this, if we have a quality infrastructure for sports like this, then I'm pretty sure, I'm confident that with the talent that we have in India, we are going to win a lot of gold medals. Now, I want to show you something very interesting. We are in a field, right? There is track and there is a soccer field, right behind me. But I want to show you something very interesting. Remember, I told you that the field actually slides down like this, right? The field actually slides down like this. Although if you actually sit and stand and see here, you could view it. What is the reason for it? And that is exactly what I'm going to show you. You see this here? This is nothing but a rainwater drainage system. So when the rainwater, when it rains and when the water comes out, it can actually go into this. It drains into this rainwater system and gets collected there. Although they have built a field here, the people in the US, they always think about how to collect rainwater, store it, and use it for the people. That is very, very important for any country, no matter what, and that is exactly what you are seeing here. Although in spite of this ground, they are trying to collect the rainwater here. So now we saw how a soccer field and an American football field is there. Now right next to it we saw the tracks, right? There were 4 tracks on it. Now where are we standing? Now this is the place where kids can practice for shot put, right? This is a field just for shot put, and you can see as a precautionary measure or safety measure, they have covered the entire thing on with nets, and they have given this particular space just for practicing shot put. So kids are going to practice shot put here. Now we actually saw, you could see that we had the shot put field right behind me. Now what is this field? This field almost looks similar to a shot put field where you could see the net for protecting people. Now this place, my friends, is actually for discus throw. Okay, so if you want to practice discus, now people are practicing shot put over there, they are safe and secure over there. Now if I want to practice discus, throwing discus like this, you can see a circle here for my discus. So I could practice it here, and you can actually see that it's been covered with net all around except for this place where I can practice discus. So we got a shot put field for practicing shot put, and we got a discus field for practicing discus. Now this is what we are lacking in India. Okay, we saw where there is a shot put field, we saw where there is a discus field, right? Now let's say a kid wants to get trained in high jump. Now this is an infrastructure that is readily available for them to get practice or good to get trained in high jump. So this infrastructure is actually for a high jump. You see that there is within a minute of walking I can go to the shot put field, within a minute of walking I can go to the discus field, and within a minute of walking I can go to the track field events. This is what is needed for a country. Okay, we saw how a high jump infrastructure is available for the kids. Now what is this field? Now this field is actually for a long jump. Now you might ask me, let's say someone starts running from there. You could see that the 3 lines there for the long jump. Let's say someone starts running from there and they're going to jump here. You might ask me, won't they get injured, right? I'm going to answer your question. There is actually sand beneath this entire surface. Since they are not practicing now, it is being closed. Now let's say they want to practice. How do they do this? Now if you actually look at this infrastructure here, you see this here, you come here and you can lift it like this. Once you lift it like this, then there is sand beneath this. If they are going to practice it, they will take this all out and keep it aside, and they'll practice on the sand. Once they are done with practicing, they will close it so they can protect the sand that is beneath this. So this is an infrastructure for long jump. There is one more aspect which I wanted to share with you. Now we saw water drainage over there in the fields there. Now we have got high jump, long jump, discus, shot put everywhere. But in this field also, if you actually look at it, the American government has created an infrastructure for collecting rainwater harvesting. You see, the most developed countries, they have this basic infrastructure in place so that even for 100 years, 1000 years, the country will prosper. And one of the most important aspect of a good infrastructure is rainwater harvesting. Now let's say the kids are playing here, right? Kids are playing in this field, they are playing a soccer or American football. Now if the parents wants to watch their kids, how they are playing, or they want to watch a game, they can actually come and sit here, and that's why they have built it like a stadium, right? So when you sit here and when you watch the game, it is very visible for you, and the kids are going to be happy because the parents are watching the game. So that is why they have created an infrastructure like this. So if you go to any middle school in the US, they would have an infrastructure where people can sit and watch the game that's been going on. Okay, we saw all the track events. We saw a football field. We saw a place for shot put, discus, long jump and high jump. Now it is time for tennis, right? If you actually look at this, there are 4 tennis courts that have been built here. Now if you actually look at the quality of this, you could see that the quality is excellent here. It is one of the best I have seen, right? Now if you really think about it, the whole entire video is actually shot in a public school. This is a public school infrastructure. So what is the duty of a government? The duty of a government is to build schools like this. A duty of a government is to build a ground infrastructure like this. The duty of a government is to build good quality infrastructure like this. The duty of a government is taking care of the health care of the people. This is what makes a nation a great nation and one of the most developed nations. If you actually look at this tennis field, you could see that coaches and players can sit there. I mean, there are desks for them to sit there, benches, and you can actually see that parents can sit behind that and they can actually watch their kids playing. If the kids want to play at night, we have got lights that's covered here, so they can turn on these lights and the kids can play at night. Imagine if we have an infrastructure like this in India. India will be a great nation, and folks, that is what we are missing here. Now, you might wonder, where exactly is this infrastructure? The playground I showed you is nothing but, it's from a middle school here. You see this in the US, Daniel L. Jones Middle School. Think about this for a second. Now, middle schools are for 6th, 7th and 8th grade. When kids get trained at this beautiful infrastructure here, the talent is going to get nurtured. The talent is going to get improved. Now, think about a high school infrastructure. Think about a professional level infrastructure. When kids get trained like this in this infrastructure, and when they are competing in international standards, it is obvious that they are going to win a lot of Olympic medals. And that is why a 16-year-old kid from the US represented US in the Olympics in the recently concluded one. Think about this in another aspect. Think about how people in India go to Haryana, go to Punjab, go to some of the remote villages in India, and if we don't have an infrastructure like this, how can people, even if they have talent, can be nurtured? That is a basic question, right? Think about how many middle schools are like this in the US. If there are kids that are going to be trained like this in the US and they are going to compete, and kids who are going to compete coming from India are going to compete, think about who is going to win. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you a video of a high school infrastructure, a school infrastructure in Tamil Nadu, right? The Dravidian parties claim that they built the best Tamil Nadu. No, it is not. The video that you're seeing now is actually taken in Tamil Nadu, and as you can see here, there is no track. There is no shot put field. There is no long jump field. There is no high jump field. Nothing. There is only grass, and there is stones, and there are a lot of rocks. Imagine this. How can a kid who is getting trained there compete against a kid who is training in the US? It is impossible. That is why Tamil Nadu is not able to produce quality players. I don't know when was the last time someone represented Tamil Nadu for Olympics. So the basic question is, if we are not able to provide a international level infrastructure, how can we expect to win in an international event? Now we have come to the end of the video. If you sit through this video and watch it completely, how I showed you the different fields and how the infrastructure is being built in the US, now you will realize that what we are missing in India. If India has to be a great nation, if India has to be a most developed nation with all the human capital that we have got, and if we can provide an infrastructure like this, then nobody can stop India from beating other countries. If you have to compete at international level, you need to have an international level infrastructure. You have to always remember this. The US athletes get trained in this infrastructure. When they come there, they're able to win medals. But the video which I showed you in Tamil Nadu, look at that video. That is where people get trained. I mean, I think most of the people, they have infrastructure like that in India. We pay taxes. The duty of a government is to provide good quality infrastructure like this. If they don't provide a quality infrastructure like this, then what is the duty of a government? I know what the Tamil Nadu government is doing. The Tamil Nadu government is very busy in setting up liquor factories and selling liquor to people, rather than building infrastructure like this and training people on it. So folks, I hope I have answered your question. We know what the problem is. The problem is India is not able to win a lot of medals in the Olympics. Now the solution to that is build good infrastructure like this. India 2.0, this entire video log or this channel is dedicated about my dream of India, how India should be. I'm going to show you the ground infrastructure, the school infrastructure, the rainwater infrastructure, the road infrastructure, everything in the US, and also give you solutions for agriculture. How can we become a great nation just by agriculture alone? If you really like this video, share it with your friends and please subscribe. Thank you.